for our Being in Sync 366 video series. It's a green hoodie kind of day. Okay, so today I want to talk about an aspect of you that may be quite confusing, and you can kind of see out in the collective, in consciousness, how people are getting confused between resonance and preferences. So we can actually resonate, which is a frequency, with something that goes against our preference. And this happens because thinking, our mind, and our knowing are essentially like looking at two different operating systems, and they could go in different directions. So when that is occurring, you're going to often be confused, like, why am I having such a challenging situation? For example, perhaps you have people that have lied to you, and you think, well, why am I attracting people who lie to me? Why am I in alignment with people who betray? Like, I didn't want this. This is, that is never going to be a preference for me. That's not a preference that most people have, to be lied and manipulated and betrayed, right? We'll just use those as an example because this happens so frequently. When those things are happening repeatedly in your energy field, in your experience, so think of your energy field like the same as your experience. When you are experiencing your life, whatever that is, that means there's a resonance to it. So for example, if I am having people who lie to me, I have to resonate with that, even though that goes against my preference. Okay, so it goes against what I would want to create for myself, of course. So wouldn't I want to rectify that? Yes. How do you rectify that? You can't rectify it with just your thinking, which is what we are conditioned to think. We are conditioned to think our way through things, and that thinking process goes incongruent oftentimes with the being process, your experience. Now, isn't that frustrating? It can be, except for if you're watching this video, now you have a new awareness that there may be a disconnect somewhere. And you're like, okay, so there's a disconnect somewhere. So now you just need to figure out, why are you in resonance with something in your experience? Is it one thing? Is it just lying? Is it just manipulation? Or is it lying and manipulation? Is it multiple things that you're resonating with in this experience? The answer to that will depend on each person and your frequency. And then you might ask, well, why would I resonate with something that's against my preference? And you may or may not like this answer, but most of the time we have gone into an agreement and or given consent in some way, shape, or form that goes against our preference. And we've done that unconsciously. So now when we have agreements and vows and consent given to this experience, it begins to repeat itself, okay? So when we are in the repeating pattern, this is where frustration, irritation, madness occurs, right? Because why do I have this experience? And the experience is always going to come back to resonance trumps thinking. And you think, well, how is that possible when we've been taught that mind over matter? We've been taught to think positively. We've been taught to think our way through things and be very strategic. And that creates some discord within your alignment, within yourself, because our energy bodies are more than just this physical experience, right? They are multidimensional. How many people have told you that you are a multidimensional being, that you have multidimensional access to things like intuition? That's multidimensional. Telepath, that's multidimensional. Empathy, Being an empath, that's multidimensional. How many people have been taught to leverage these skills? More often than not, no one. Until you get to the point of frustration and you're like, okay, I've gone against my intuition and it bit me in the bum one too many times. So I'm going to follow my intuition on this one, and I'm going to go with what I resonate with, not what I think. And that's when things start to turn a tide, because what you resonate with will always come in the feeling aspect. Now, many of us have been manipulated, and I'm including myself on this in my past, totally manipulated emotionally. Unfortunately, that is what happens on earth, okay? That is not necessarily one of the most beneficial things of being a human, but it is an aspect of many of the human experiences. When you see that repeating pattern, you know that you have something that needs to be addressed energetically, not through your thinking. So you think, how, Kiana, how do you do that? Well, you have to think differently, because energy does not work off of linear thinking. It's never going to go A, B, C. It's always going to show up in a pattern that is different than what you've been taught to think in a logical way. So you have to think different to experience things differently. That's number one. But the biggest thing that is important from this message is just to start to recognize how many experiences you are having that go against your preference. And then the simplest way, which is not easy, but it is possible, way to address this is to address it through your belief system, because your beliefs will impact how you resonate more than your thinking. Now, nobody's telling you that, but it's the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth because your beliefs are the real matrix, okay? Whenever any of you have seen the Matrix, the movie, which I have not, by the way, but I know what energetic matrices look like. The real matrix is our belief system. That's the energetic matrix that we're kind of caught in between the worlds with. So when you identify a belief that I believe that nobody will ever lie to me, that belief doesn't work with your experience, right? So you have to find a belief that works with the experience of being lied to. So a belief that goes against that experience. So nobody really wants to be lied to, but so you would need to go to a core belief in which you believe, like, no, your family would never lie to you, right? So maybe you were taught that as a kid, but then you take that into your business life and you take that into your friendships. Like, people don't lie, but people lie all the time. But you have this belief that they're not going to lie to me because I don't resonate with that belief, and I don't resonate with people who lie. And yet here you are having an experience with people that lie to you. That is crazy, right? So you want to look at what beliefs that you have that you're holding on to, that people won't lie to you. So you want to get all of those beliefs, and then you want to go to the next one, because usually people who lie also manipulate, and they do lots of things that's not fun. But they also manipulate. So then you would want to go into what are your beliefs around manipulation. You also would want to look at what are your fears around manipulation and lies, and see what beliefs are holding those fears in place, because those fears lock you into superimposing your beliefs onto an experience. For fear it might happen, and therefore it distorts what you're actually experiencing. This is quite deep and it's a lot, so I don't want to go in any deeper than that, but I hope you found this helpful, and at minimum you have some awareness around when you are having an experience that goes against your preference. Just know that when it's repeating, that means that you have some lessons to learn, and you can unhook from those lessons by finding those beliefs and unhooking from those beliefs, and believe that you can be in the presence of people who lie and not be lied to, right? That's a lie, right? So be in the presence of people who lie, knowing that they lie, right? And then you are in the position of understanding that they can lie, you can see them for who they are, and it is what it is. And then your choice is whether you want to continue to consciously choose to expose yourself to those types of experiences. And if you don't want to, challenge those beliefs that hold you in that position. Okay, cheers to being in sync. I am Kiana Sage, and I guide people to peace. If you found this helpful and you want to unhook from those preferences and those experiences that go against your preferences, oh my gosh, what a blessing that is. May you all do that, because we all want what we want, right? And there's nothing wrong with wanting what you want. Now you just need to align to what you want, and that takes some energetic work. Cheers to being in sync. I am Kiana Sage. Bye.